Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Tuesday. A lot of people are on spring break, so happy spring break for those that are on spring break. Make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe for me. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to come on in. Yes, it is a little chilly where I am. Good morning, everybody. It is a little chilly where I am this morning, so I am not really in spring attire. It's like spring fight back a little bit. It doesn't really want to fight back, but here we are. I hope everybody's Tuesday is going well. Um, uh, Mine is okay. Haven't had breakfast yet. Still sipping some of my coffee, but nonetheless, we are here. Let me apologize for being a little late this morning. I pride myself on being here on time. So, good morning to everybody, and I hope you all are having a prosperous morning, a productive morning. Um, but thank you for coming by. We have plenty to get into, but I am going to narrow this show down today on how much America is really losing and how the MAGA sycophants and racism is expensive. Okay. We're going to touch on a few things. We're going to touch on, of course, the overarching thing is there is genocide happening in front of our very face. It really is. So let's start it off. Thank you for coming here, Politics in Plain English. We talk current political events and explain what's happening, why it's happening, and what it means, right? And what it means. So we're going to start off with a daily reminder. We're going to do this watch. We are on gas watch, right? So because we are on gas watch, I decided every day we're going to post about to see what the gas is doing today. So this is the actual national average. Now, mind you, in some places it may be higher, it may be a little lower, but this is the national average. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Pump prices for unleaded, it has went up 23%. That's it. That's 81 cents from the last, I think this is from week to week. The average is now $4.11 for unleaded. That is regular gas. If you are like moi and you have a car that takes premium, it is $4.99. Might as well say $5. Okay. And for our truck drivers, it is $5.61. What does that mean? How does this all translate? Let me break it down to you really quickly. Good morning for everybody. Come in, like, share, and subscribe. Good morning. Good morning. What does this mean? You see that $5.61 number right there? What does that mean? Okay. So this is what our 18-wheelers use, is diesel. Okay. That is how you get your produce to your local grocery stores. That is how you get your goods to your stores, even Amazon, right? This is how everything gets on your shelf for you to purchase. This is how, when you place that order on Instacart, they're going in the store for you. And this is how your peaches, your lettuce, your milk, your eggs, your chicken, your beef, your bacon, whatever it is, your bread, this is how it is transported to you. So what that means is a company, now follow me here, a company that has a contract with chicken plants, egg places, bread, whatever. They have a contract with those companies, right? That means it is cutting into their bottom line, because that means it is costing them. It is not on the driver. to pay for the gas. It is the company that pays for the gas. And so they're seeing their expenses increase. So they're seeing their expenses increase. What do you think that is going to do for the consumer? It is going to be on the burden of the consumer to make up that difference. So when you see a gallon of milk being $10, this is why. When you see a carton of eggs, a dozen, and not even extra large, we'll just say the medium size eggs being $7.54, this is why. When you see your normal loaf of bread going from $2.73 to now $4.54, this is why. This is what is driving the cost of that. Also, we are about to be in a food desert. Thank you so much for becoming a member. We are about to be in a food desert. What does that mean, Kay? That means because of the war, because of the war that is going on, our farmers do not have the fertilizer that they need to go ahead and begin to prune the ground, to get the ground ready for them to plant their seeds and for the crops to grow effectively the way that they need to. What does that mean? That means that now what we used to could produce on farmland, we can no longer produce. So we will start seeing a food shortage, and this is why they have in turn food prices is going to go up, and they're also making fake meat. Okay, that's what they're also making. They're also making fake meat. And I told you guys to be careful when you're going into the grocery stores. Hold on really quick. I need to add some more mods in here. When you go into the grocery stores, what that is going to look like, right? You're going to see it has sale in there. You're going to see it's going to have a different type of label on it. Cell generated, cell infused, lab generated, all those great things, right? That's what you're going to start seeing in here. And so there you guys go. I had to dress some people up. You're going to start seeing labels with different meanings. Make sure you're looking those up to make sure you know what you're buying and know that it is not lab created. It is not lab created meat, fake meat. Let's just call it what it is. It is fake meat. Okay. Fake meat. But this is what happens when you vote out of the eyes of racism and not, thank you, Miss Kimberly Black, and not vote out of the eyes of being rational, being logical, right? We tried to tell so many people, but they refused to listen because they said this Black woman laughed too much. And we allowed the propaganda to divide us by stating she locked up all these Black people and da-da-da. Well, look what he's doing to Black people now, right? We're losing jobs. Meta is about to lay off a couple thousand people. Oracle has laid off 30,000 people. Over 300,000 Black women have been put in unemployment. Black men are now following in those numbers as well. They're trying to strip down education and what is considered a profession now because in stark glaring numbers, we are the ones that occupy those seats in those professions. So whatever they're trying to do, everything that they possibly can to try to disenfranchise us, as well as, hiking the price up of rent and not stabilizing it in a common sense way, nor are they raising, what we're being paid either. Out there as well. So there's a couple of things, there's a lot of things, healthcare. Now people are going to be using the ER as doctor's offices. So if you haven't been planning, plan now. Go ahead and stock up on your waters, find your local farmers, see if you can get a month worth of meat or at least 6 months worth of meat Freeze it if you can. Start to make a buddy system. If you know somebody can grow this and you can grow that, make a buddy system and help each other. It is going to be about community here. It is going to be about how can we help each other survive, because we know this crazy man in office does not care. He doesn't care at all, right? So, and we know he doesn't care. And for everyone that said he is a Christian, I just want y'all to take a look at this picture right here and tell me here what you see. Just look at this picture. I'm going to lower myself down. Look at this picture right here. This is when he was sworn in, and I'm setting the stage for something for you guys. So follow me, okay? Please like, share, and subscribe while you're in here. Follow me with this, okay? They're screaming he was a Christian. They screamed he had Christian values. We even had some of our own people screaming he had Christian values. One of the sisters from Mary, oh, this administration is based upon Christian values. Good morning, good morning. Based upon Christian values, right? This is when he was sworn in. When you were sworn in, you were supposed to either put your hand on your Bible, or for our Muslim brothers and sisters, the Quran, right? What do we see him? Can anybody observe what is going on in this picture? Can anybody observe what is going on in this picture right here? But they want us to believe that this man is a Christian. They want us to believe that this man loves God and is going to turn this country around and is going to make America great again by making God first and foremost. He is going to do what needs to be done to bring back Christianity and all this. He was being sworn in as the president of the United States, and he didn't even put his hand on the Bible or across his heart or anything. All he did was raise his little crummy, degrading, decrepit, nasty ass hand. That's all he did. That's all he did here. So that's number one. How we know that all of this propaganda that he's Christian, he's this, he's that, he couldn't even pretend to be, right? He couldn't even pretend to be. That hand is not on that Bible at all. We see, the porn star and the lead porn star next to him, the pay for bride next to him holding the Bible, but he's not even placing the Bible on, he's not even putting his hand on the Bible. Okay. This is not a Christian man. Furthermore, this man just put out a statement, guys, stating a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. However, now that we have complete and total regime change, which is incorrect, where different, smarter, and less radicalized minds prevail, maybe something revolutionarily wonderful can happen. Who knows? We will find out tonight. One of the most important moments in a long and complex history of world. 47 years of extortion, corruption, and death will finally end. God bless the great people of Iran. This is genocide. This is a war crime. What is genocide? Genocide is wiping away a whole civilization based upon what they look and believe. The United States military is pretty much being set up to commit a war crime. This is a war crime because in international war, in international law, it states you cannot bomb civilians. You cannot go after energy plants, electrical grids, unless you can prove that they're using those electrical grids and those energy plants and things of that nature to fuel and fund terrorists. That girls' school that they blew up, they also hit a hospital. They're not talking about a lot of these things. They're hitting unnecessary targets that are not supposed to be hit when you have a war plan devised, because there are rules of engagement. Good morning. There are rules of engagement when you are attacking another country. The same way they hit that boat in the Caribbean, where once you see that your target has been wounded and there is no way for them to fire back, you're not supposed to do what is called a double tap. That is illegal underneath international law. It is illegal. This is why gas is where it is, and there is no sign of it turning back. The stock market is going to crash. We already see here, France brings home the last of its gold from the US and now keeps all reserves in Paris. They're not the only country that has done this. And you guys know our country is backed by gold. We depend on other countries having bonds, gold, and reserves here. We depend on that. Because other countries, Macron, this is Macron, he understands what's going on, and he knows that America has failed at democracy because they allowed their nasty racism, their nasty hatred, their long history of hatred to elect this person, which I have other conspiracies. I do think that he actually lost, but he was aided by another druggie, Elon Musk, but yet he hires all of the good people. I've been telling you guys for weeks now, get ready, get prepared. Other countries are allies. France is an ally. They're going to distance themselves from us because the tariffs that he invoked, how he treats other countries, how he talks about other countries, they're not going to stand for that. They're going to stand up for their people and what is good for their country. And right now, America is not even good for itself. Sweetie, I've been saying that. Racism is expensive, and I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that because here we go. Racism is very expensive. This woman right here, Lisa, or whatever, I can't see her name all the way here, Heisman, sales were really slow. It all started with the war. It was dead as a doornail the minute that happened. Okay. This is a store owner in Illinois, full of Trump merch. Now she can't even move a t-shirt. Racism is expensive. Racism is very expensive. Here's another reason. Racism is very expensive. Y'all can like Kanye West all y'all want to. But see, let's not forget when he proudly wore the t-shirt that said White Lives Matter, when he proudly has said the most disgusting, vicious, and vile things. You know, him and Nicki Minaj are cut from the same cloth. His anti-Semitic rants, how he talks about other people's children and all kind of other stuff. We're not going to go dig deep too far into that, but we know what is going on here. Wireless Music Festival has been canceled after the UK blocked Kanye West. Okay? The UK Prime Minister said earlier this week that it was a mistake for Kanye West to be booked. They were telling him he can't even enter the country. But y'all, you know what I find is interesting with this? Y'all sit here and watch him be racist, to be disgusting towards the very group of people who have kept his career alive. Good morning, good morning, good morning. The very people that have kept his career alive, and we still marched into these. He had 2 shows this weekend. Thank you so much. He had 2 shows this weekend, and guess who was in there? We was in there. And for me, if you can pay your money and fund someone like this is not the graduation, Kanye. We know that. Good morning, everybody that's coming in. If you can pay and support someone like this, then I don't want to hear no one cry about people playing R. Kelly music. Oop, did I say it? If you can align yourself, why do you think the Beehive is calling for Chloe Bailey to no longer be a part of Parkwood? Her ass was front and center at this show after he said the most disgusting things about Jay-Z and Beyonce's children. Okay? Racism is expensive. He lost his Adidas deal. I think he's about to come out with some more Adidas. They've kind of like worked it out because he sat with a rabbi. Are you kidding me? But yet this is the same man that's wearing, that proudly wears Make America Great Again red hat, and connected himself to Candace Owens, the one who thinks because she married a white man, her proximity to whiteness is going to make her accepted by them. But oh, have we been seeing? She's been trying to rebrand herself. All these folks, see, what happens is when they realize that racism is really expensive, they go and they try to rebrand themselves. And what they do is they lean on the fact that Black people are so forgiving. And what we have to understand, yes, she was at the show. Yes, Chloe Bailey was at the show. There was a lot of us that was at the show. I have my theories about R. Kelly, Brown Sugar. I really, really do, because a lot of those parents forced their children into that, and they knew what was going on clear as day because they were looking for a payday. Because for me, if my child is missing, you think I'm not running my truck in that house? You think I'm not having the FBI surround the house? You think I'm not rallying up me and my family to go get my child? But a lot of them got some good paydays and some good payoffs. So, hey, that's a whole nother story for another day. But anyway, racism is expensive. These folks lined up to go see this man expensive ass show, to see him stand on top of a globe. And furthermore, Lauryn Hill performed. Lauryn Hill, your career would not even be what it be, and you would not have the platform and still the support after you're 5 hours late to your own concerts. You're 5 hours late to your own concerts, and we still sit there and wait for you because we love your artistry. Erykah Badu is there. Girl, what? But these are people that are so pro-Black. And I want to ask them, what happened? Is it the money that is that good? The money couldn't be that good because your soul will outlast your money. Okay, these are people that our culture has stood up for, who has taken for, who say you're not going to play about them. Because Lauryn Hill, while you were going through all of that, guess who paid for your taxes and for you to get the right to your music? Wasn't that Jay-Z that did that? But then you align yourself and to perform next to a man who said heinous things about his children. And see, people always like to rely on the thing, well, he wasn't talking about me and I don't have anything to do with me. But guess what? When it is your turn, okay? When it is your turn. See, here's the thing about people when people start talking to people, I've always lived by this rule. When people say and do certain things to people, right, that they used to be cool with or whatever the case, I always look at it as when they have the opportunity to do it to you, they'll take it, because this is who they are at the core, right? This is who they are. They're an opportunist. and a chaos demon to disrupt whenever space permits itself, as long as they're going to be propelled forward. You follow me? So see, we have to start drawing some lines in the sand in our own culture. We can't just keep blaming the white man on everything, because we sit here and we say racism, they doing this, doing that, but then we align ourselves with people who don't even align ourselves with what's going on. Because realistically, Kanye West owes us a major apology. He should be going on an apologetic tour instead of a tour rapping with Northwest, who they wish could be like Blue Ivy, dare I say. Mhm. But you sit here and we align ourselves with people who aren't for you. All skin folk ain't kin folk, and we've got to start waking up and using our own power. Look at Target. Sometimes, like I look at people that still, I look at influencers that still going to Target, and I'm like, girl, sis, y'all are getting pennies on the dollar to try on their clothes and tell people to go buy this outfit that you got from there to hit the link. We've got to stand for something as a united front. This is crazy. This is disastrous. And I can't believe it and I can't fathom it. I can't wrap my head around it. That people show you exactly who you are, who they are, and you still align yourself thinking it won't be me until it is you. But again, racism is expensive. And then I'm going to furthermore, and I am going to say this, and people may not like what I'm about to say here. For those that are trying to rebrand and come back around now, or people that are trying to wake up, like Marjorie Taylor Greene is now saying, invoke the 25th Amendment, which we're going to get there in just a second. Walk with me here. But Marjorie Taylor Greene put out this big tweet just a minute ago, because we are currently actively bombing Iran at this moment. Okay. We're actively bombing Iran and trying to wipe out a whole civilization. That's genocide. Remember that. So when people try to say, oh, he's just bombing, no, say it's genocide that they are committing. The same genocide that they're committing in Gaza. Mm-hmm. The same thing. Here's the problem. MAGA, we don't want you over here. Find you a new home. We're not your home. We're not your home, because now that he has went too far, now he sounds crazy. Now the 25th Amendment needs to be invoked. Now we need to impeach him. But grabbing the women by the ussies wasn't enough. This man just sat up in front of a press conference. It stated that he killed Osama bin Laden. What? Wait a minute, what? He stated that he killed Osama bin Laden when he wasn't even in office during the Iraq War. He wasn't even in office during the killing of Osama, the raid, right? Because see, when you have a target, you go towards the most accurate with the least casualties. So what did Barack Obama do? He called Team SEAL 6. Team SEAL 6 is the most lethalest, deadliest, and most accurate SEAL team that we have. Right? Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Instead, he's over here just bombing stuff. And it is costing us $1 million a day, I believe it is. And I'm going to go back and double check that. But this man said on the podium that he killed Osama bin Laden. Well, we know good and damn well that that sharp black man, with that beautiful black wife and those beautiful black children that are highly educated, by the name of President Barack Hussein Obama, is the one that killed Osama bin Laden. He wasn't even in office during that time. This man he's gone crazy. He is slurring. He is stuttering. They also want to pay him. Oh, he's really physically fit. Is he really? This man sat This man sat at the Easter egg. Let me see if I can find this, pull this up. This man sat on Easter with the kids at Easter, right? And instead of telling them, talking about the Easter bunny, Easter eggs, things like that, this man's talking about the Iran war. He's talking about things costing him $25,000. Is he okay? Is he really okay? I want you guys to hear this for yourself. And I believe this is the video. I want you guys to hear this for yourself. I really do. I want you guys to hear this for yourself. I do. Because I'm not making it up. I want you guys to hear it. I want you guys to hear this man say that
I had killed Wheezy. I terminated that, and then the B-2 bombers. And I did one other thing. I had killed Qasem Soleimani, who was an evil genius. And the reason I did it, I heard he was going to knock out 5 of our military bases. And had he lived, I believe we would be fighting perhaps a different Iran right now, because he's never been replaced, you know. And I did one other, but this one was not picked up. Osama bin Laden. If you read my book, I said Osama bin Laden.
Let's go back.
I did one other, but this one was not picked up. Osama bin Laden. He's never been replaced, you know. And I did one other, but this one was not picked up. Osama bin Laden. If you read my book, I said you got to take him out 1 year before the World Trade Center came down. So I wish you'd read the book. But it was so easy. I terminated that, and then the B-2 bombers.
Wait. Did y'all just see this? Take a second and digest it. Yes, this man said he killed Osama bin Laden, and he put it in his book a year before 9/11. I'm going to play it again. I'm going to play it again. Good morning. I'm going to play it again from the beginning. And I want y'all to listen to this man. First of all, look how he rumbles. He's rambling. He's all over the place, right? This man said he killed Osama bin Laden. Go read it in his book. Good morning. Bama girl, yes. He said go read it in his book a year before 9/11. We go. I know. Thank you so much. Here we go. I'm gonna play it again for y'all. I'm gonna play it again.
Who was an evil genius. It was so easy. I terminated that, and then the B-2 bombers. And I did one other thing. I had killed Qasem Soleimani, who was an evil genius. And the reason I did it, I heard he was going to knock out 5 of our military bases. And had he lived, I believe we would be fighting perhaps a different Iran right now, because he's never been replaced, you know. And I did one other, but this one was not picked up. Osama bin Laden. If you read my book, I said you got to take him out 1 year before the World Trade Center came down. So I wish you'd read the book. To take him out 1 year. Osama bin Laden. One other, but this one was not picked up. Osama bin Laden. If you read my book, I said you got to take him out 1 year before the World Trade Center kicked up. Osama bin Laden. If you read my book, I said you got to take him out 1 year before the World Trade Center came down. So I wish you'd read the book.
So we know he's trying to sell books. We know that for sure. We know that. We also know this man is suffering from dementia. We know that. We know that he's senile. We also know that. And we know that he has a distant relationship with the truth. This man said that he killed Osama bin Laden. Nobody picked it up. He killed Osama bin Laden, and that it's in his book a year before 9/11. 9/11 happened in 2000 what? 1? So that means his book had to be published and written in 2000. So that means he had this much intel. And he had that kind of power back then to just override the military and contract his own people to go over there and kill Osama bin Laden. When we know something about the Middle Eastern folks over there. They don't do white folks. They tell you proudly. Correct, V. President Barack Hussein Obama is the one that ordered SEAL Team 6 to go and do that pointed strike. He was not the POTUS at that time. He wasn't even close. He was mad. This was the same night of the correspondence dinner where Barack Obama roasted Donald Trump. And he told Leon Panetta, good job. I wish I had that clip, but he told Leon Panetta, good job, because that strike had been successful and they had got before they announced it, because in the very next night, President Barack Hussein Obama came out there. Y'all remember he had a do-rag imprint on his forehead to let us know he is dead. We killed him. SEAL Team 6 killed him. And they still buried him honorably. They didn't chop him up. They didn't throw him. They still buried him. They wrapped him in the sheet that they wrapped him in. They put, I think it's like lemons or something over his eyes, and they sailed him out in the ocean. But this disaster in chief, this delayed, dilapidated, degenerate in chief thinks that he killed Osama bin Laden. Help me, somebody. Help me, somebody. Help me, somebody. Then he goes on to say that if any other, I'm looking for the clip, that if anybody says, I think this is it. Then he goes on, he threatens to jail whoever leaked the missing pilot story. The pilot was missing for a day before he was able to send off his emergency locator so that they could locate him. This man said Trump threatened to jail whoever leaked the missing pilot story. Turns out it was Bibi Netanyahu's favorite journalist who leaked that. Do you find something that's like similar? Everybody around Trump is only using him, but he leaks are coming out everywhere. So now he wants to jail journalists for doing their job. We already saw what they did to Don Lemon and the other journalists that were with him that night. They're trying to jail them and trying to make up that they violated certain acts. No, they are exercising their First Amendment right, freedom to press. And it was true that the pilot was missing because he had to eject himself out of the fighter jet, crawl to safety, sit there for a second until he could get to a spot where he can make he can use his emergency contact so that they can come and get him. And then furthermore, the mockery of Pete Hegseth on Easter morning, calling it an Easter morning miracle, liken the rescue of the U.S. airmen to Jesus. They're also trying to use this war as a Jesus act. Remember, I already told y'all Israel's not the Israel of biblical times. He's trying to make this as this man was it was a rebirth, reborn. Okay. Hold on. Let me show you guys real quick. Let me just show you guys real quick. If you have not seen this yet, put on your seatbelt.
When I started my record label,
Hold on.
the business.
We got a commercial. Give me just a second here. It's only going to be about 20 something seconds. But it does say in the Bible not to do this very thing that he's doing, because you do know that Paula White is calling Trump God and Jesus like. Yeah.
Finally able to activate his emergency transponder. His first message was simple and it was powerful. He sent a message, God is good. In that moment of isolation and danger, his faith and fighting spirit shone through. You see, shot down on a Friday, Good Friday, hidden in a...
Pay attention. Shot down on a Friday. We know our biblical teaching says on the third day, right? We know on a Friday he was hung high and stretched. Where my Bible readers at? Where my folk that get Easter sharp at? Okay. Remember on Friday he hung us high and stretched us what? Can the church tell me what? Stretched us what? Why? Tell your neighbor, why? Okay. And we know all day Saturday. What happened? All day Saturday, what happened? You had Mary Magdalene and them up there, right? Watching the tomb, right? We know the story. And then we know on Sunday, bright and early Sunday morning, on the third day, they rolled away the tomb and the body wasn't there. And he was what? He had risen, right? He had risen. We know the story very well. So I just want you to play back in your head back to when, you would have to go to Sunday Bible school and you would have to learn what the Resurrection Sunday was all about. Just listen here.
Cave, a crevice, all of Saturday and rescued on Sunday. Flown out of Iran as the sun was rising on Easter Sunday. A pilot reborn, all home and accounted for, a nation rejoicing. God is good.
Wait a minute, what? What? Wait a minute, what?
Here's why you should switch.
A pilot lay on Friday and he's down in a tomb on Saturday. And then he was risen and flown out as the sun was rising on Easter Sunday. He was renewed. What? But this is the same man that's talking about this, but this is the same man that beat his wife, beat his mistress, then cheated on his wife, and also drinks on the job. You can't believe nothing that come out of these folk mouth. I done told y'all if they mouth is moving 10 times out of 10. They lying. Yes, they are comparing the rescue of the lost pilot. He was missing. They are comparing the missing pilot that was rescued to Jesus' resurrection. My God. That's not blasphemy. I don't know what it is. Like what? Are we serious here? He said reborn. He used the word reborn. Mind you, church and state are separate. Reborn, this means that he reborn. But mind you, this is the same administration that's following behind a man who, you know what I'm saying? Following behind a man who can't even put his hand on the Bible. This is the same man that held the Bible upside down and said, when asked, when they asked what Bible verse is your favorite, he said, all of it. Then he said, 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians, guys. 2 Corinthians, not 2 Corinthians, but 2 Corinthians. What? Are you okay? I know you lying to me. Are you okay? Like, no, serious. This is a serious question. Are you okay? Meanwhile, while they're doing all of this and they're spending all of this money on a choice war, remember, call it a choice war because in order for us to invoke war, we must go in front of Congress. The presidential powers are to make strikes. That's why he said last week, we talked about it, he reframed it as these are strikes because if I say war, I'm going to get in trouble. You're already in trouble because you committed war crimes. You have to go in front of Congress to get congressional approval to go to war because it's got to be a budget for war. It's got to be planning for war. It's got to be an entry plan and an exit plan. We have no exit strategy. Iran said, fuck around and find out. We here, we ready for whatever. Right now, the Strait of Hormuz is closed to anybody that is against Iran. Meanwhile, Iran's oil is still getting transported through there, okay? Meanwhile, China getting what they want. Meanwhile, Russia is getting some of what they want. Meanwhile, other countries are having to go around and make their own deals to get their oil in there. And do you guys know the trajectory that we are on? America will be out of oil by April 15th. You heard it. 8 days. America will be out of oil. Hey, boo. America will be out of oil by April 15th. What does that mean? That means $10 a gallon of gas. He has also stated that he is okay with America diluting their gas and letting you put it in your car. But again, racism is expensive because we know we're here due to racism, right? We know that we're here. Meanwhile, our veterans, people that are already actively serving, right? Who will be eventually veterans one day. This is how he's taking care of them because he ended the VA home loan program. Veterans are losing their homes by tens of thousands. They're going into, they said over 10,000 veterans' homes have already went into foreclosure. This also affects the economy. These are people who have served, who have given their lives so that we can walk freely every day. But again, that 9-foot fit son he got needs to be drafted and go over there too. Remember, this was in Project 2025. They've already moved the age of the Army to 42 to enlist. They already stated that high school seniors in public schools, that's why they're ramping up having vouchers, school vouchers and things. They're ramping that up, right? They're ramping all of these things up because they want to privatize everything and control everything in a way to send our kids over there in the war. Because once you enlist, you are the property of the government. And we know how experiments go and things of that nature, right? They want to take your high school seniors and they want to draft them. Now they're even talking about drafting the girls too. Unless you're in private school or homeschool or have a disability that is recorded. The Fed Chair Jerome Powell said that the economy is in deep trouble. There has been no job growth. Matter of fact, it's been about 10,000 jobs. I think that we're losing probably weekly, something like that. It's a very large figure. And also, Trump has proposed to take the funding that was allocated for HBCUs. He is now proposed to take that away. He has proposed to take that all away. And you know what's funny? A broken clock is right twice a day. And again, this ain't saying, MAGA, you got a home over here now because you've seen light, or now because it's directly affecting you, or now one of your things that you believed he would do, he is no longer doing, and he's adamant and open about it. And there's no way for you to make an excuse, right? You're no longer getting funded by the MAGA regime, because that's what they are. You're no longer, don't come over here looking for a new home with us. We don't need you. We don't want you because we know you don't like us to begin with, okay? Because when we told you, hey, this ain't what you think it is, you kept saying yes, because again, you're voting from a racist colored lens. But what did they say? A broken clock is right twice a day, right? It is right twice a day. And I never thought anywhere in my mind that I would agree with anything that Tucker Carlson, the Tucker Carlson, you know, the one that used to be on Fox News, the state media, because that's what Fox News is. I never thought that I would agree with something that he's saying. But guys, watch this. I listen, I know. I said the same thing. I was like, what? I'm believing this. I can't believe this. Like, no way. But I have to say that I am agreeing with Tucker Carlson here. I have to say it, y'all. All right, let's take a look here.
You're totally effing straight. How dare you speak that way on Easter morning to the country? Who do you think you are? You're tweeting out the F word on Easter morning? just watch. Praise be to Allah. This is a mockery not just of Islam, it's a mockery of Christianity. To send out a tweet with the F word on Easter morning promising the murder of civilians and then saying praise be to Allah without explaining any of it, you are mocking me and every other Christian because we're Christians. We can't support that. That is evil. It is vile on every level. It begins with a promise to use the U.S. military, our military, to destroy civilian infrastructure in another country, which is to say to commit a war crime, a moral crime against the people of the country, blow up their bridges that people cross every day to go to school and work and to worship, and yes, church, because there are over 1 million Christians in Iran. This is their Easter too. And power plants, civilian power plants in a country of almost 100 million people. Iran is a modern country. What happens when it loses power? Well, people die. Babies connected to incubators die. People in hospitals die. It's totally unacceptable. Not under the phony laws of some international body, but under moral law, God's law. Killing non-combatants, people who did nothing wrong, who didn't choose this war. We're just people created by God. That is immoral. That will never be moral. That can never be justified. That is always wrong.
Gotta say it, guys. Never thought that I would agree with Tucker Carlson here, but he was spot on. He was spot on. He was spot on. He's spot on. Okay. He was spot on. Same thing with this. Again, a clock is right twice a day. Okay? A clock is right twice a day. And I have to agree with, I gotta agree here with this crazy ass woman. We know we don't care for her. You know, she went after our good sis. She went after our good sis, Jasmine Crockett. You know, I never thought I would agree with a badly built, bleached blonde Barbie, butch body Barbie. I think that's what she said. Oh, my bad. Hold on. Marjorie Taylor Greene demands the 25th Amendment be invoked against Trump. Never thought I would see a day with this. Never thought about it. Never thought I would see the day when the one who raised so much money for this administration to get elected, who raised, so I know, right? Who raised all kind of hell, right? Until her kids' insurance premiums were going up. And until, but after, let's make this a point, after she cashed in and made all of that money and said, I'm no longer going to run for re-election and I'm going to resign, after I cashed in all these hundreds of millions, well, after these tens of millions of dollars, after she exploded in the stock market and all that, she said, I can no longer run and I'm seeing the light because my kids can't afford insurance. You know, it's always funny that then the truth come out because something personally hits them and they don't think, well, what about the things that you have signed up on that personally hurts other people? They don't care about that. These people are insane. You hear me? Insane. They're absolutely insane. This man is, you've got JD Vance over there literally doing foreign election interference in Hungary. Yes, Hungary. They're trying to keep that man over there in office because he's a far right winger. And he's over there doing the president's bidding by trying to interfere in their election. What? And yes, do y'all want to see the video I was trying to tell you guys about birds of feather? You ain't lie. You ain't lie now. Now, peep this. Remember I told y'all Trump was out there with them kids on Easter. Look at this. Again, something is wrong with this.
Incapable of signing his name. So they follow him around with this big machine, you know what it was called? An auto pen. And he'd have the auto pen signed. He'd take the paper, hand it to his guys, and sign it with an auto pen.
Thanks.
I can sign autographs.
What? At an Easter egg? Y'all, these kids are on the White House lawn enjoying Easter, doing Easter egg hunts, having Easter painting activities and things of this nature. And this man says, I can autograph your paper and you can sell it for $25,000 to kids. These kids look like they're no bigger than maybe third graders. But just listen to this bullshit. Just listen to this crap. Listen, just listen.
Biden would use the auto pen. He'd have an auto pen follow him. Joe Biden, he didn't sign. He was incapable of signing his name. So they'd follow him around with this big machine, you know what it was called? An auto pen. And he'd have the auto pen signed. He'd take the paper, hand it to his guys, sign it with an auto pen.
The girl in the yellow. Look at I want you guys to look at the girl in the yellow. Look at the girl in the yellow right here. She's like all of us. What? See, I want you guys to listen to this. I could sign the autographs, and then tonight you could sell it for $25,000 on eBay. Just listen.
I can sign autographs.
Look at my girl right here. Look. She's like, what the fuck is this? Look at my girl right there. She's like, wait, what is this? I'm sure they smell the poo-poo scent on him because you know he has that catheter there. As we see him balding at the top and it thinning, but just listen, just
Biden would use the auto pen.
And Biden would use the auto pen and they would follow him with this big machine. Y'all get the hell up out of here, please. Please get the hell up out of here. Like you really just cannot be serious. We cannot be serious about this. Like we just cannot. And then we have Chile now making a statement saying that, since we're talking about the wild shit that's going on, we have Chile making a statement saying now it is taking a grave toll on her. It is taking a toll on her. All of this is taking a toll on her, and because, you know, she says she voted for Obama twice. So I left a comment underneath the post. I left a comment. I said the same toll that this economy from the man that you voted for is having on everyday citizens, the same American people that have supported your career, that toll? Or are we talking about another toll? Which toll are we talking about here? Because you've been able to live this life because of the very voters that you voted against by voting for him, right? Your very supporters that you voted against that voted for him paid to support your career so you could live the life that you live outside of you having a baby by Dallas Austin. Talking about it's taking a toll on you. What do you think it's doing to everyday people that are going to work, their 9-to-5s, their multiple jobs, their gig works, whatever they're doing, they're going to school, they're trying to budget their money, they're having to rearrange their budget all the time because gas prices are rising, food prices are rising, and guess what is not rising? Our paychecks. Taking a toll. We want to talk about taking a toll on people. Taking a toll. But you didn't think about the toll that it was going to take on the very people that supported your career. Girl, we ain't going. We don't care. Go cry me a river, build a bridge, and get over it. We don't care. There is no space for you here. And again, I keep saying, These folks think that they can apologize and play in our face and come back and we'll welcome them with open arms and tell them they're invited to the cookout. We got to stop making the cookout invite list so long, or allowing people to resurrect their careers off the backs of our forgiveness. We can forgive you, but you stay over there with them because they're the ones that you aligned yourself with. They're the ones you went and hid for cover and Roddy and Shish Kumbah. Look at Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj, you're no longer even going to be welcome to the Met Gala. Again, racism is expensive, and going against your own people that got you there, it's going to always blow up in your face. People are sitting here, well, my fans are going to be loyal to you to what? Not when you sit here and you play in our face and you vote for people who have said we come from shithole countries, that Somalians are eating people, eating dogs, calling us the blacks, stripping away healthcare, disenfranchising our school zones, raising our taxes, raising our healthcare premiums, taking away what is known as a professional career, making it harder to climb that educational ladder, rising costs of school now, make it harder for us to get Pell Grants because they're framing it in a way that if you don't abide by a certain curriculum, and if there is DEI there, they're stripping funding away. They're going to make it harder for kids or HBCUs to stay open because they know that's our bread and butter. That's the bread and butter of us getting educated. Shout out Aggie Pride and shout out to all of my HBCU educated folks. Ain't nothing like it. They try to attack every entity that we have something to do with, and yet you want to go out here and go, yeah, I'm from MAGA, I'm pro MAGA. You want to sit here and wear a hat that says Make America Great Again. That hat is just the replacement of the white hood. You want to wear Kanye West, you want to wear a t-shirt that says White Lives Matter too. Bitch, what? When hasn't it mattered? That's my question. When haven't white lives mattered? Because as long as my existence and when my level of comprehension has rose to the point of being able to understand the nuances of racism, white lives have always mattered. White lives matter during the desegregation. You know why it mattered? Because when they had to bus children hours away from where their home is, guess what? They had to have Army. They had to have the National Guard walk them in there because your white parents and grandparents were standing out there spitting on these kids. Y'all were shutting down pools if one black person dared to swim in it because you said it was contaminated. So when didn't white lives matter? Emmett Till didn't even do what the white lady claimed he was doing, but see, you was caught out there doing other things. So then you try to turn yourself into the victim, because we do know that white women's tears are very dangerous, right? We do know that a white woman's tears will have them upending this earth. Prime example, old girl with the 2 kids that she put the brick, what's her name? Can't think of her name off the top of my head, but she put the brick on the gas pedal and let the car drive her kids down there in the water, and then told them that it was a black man, because she knew that would divert the attention off of her, and that the earth, the city and towns will go marching and scorching and turning everything up to look for this black man that she even helped them develop a sketch of. And they even found a guy that looked just like the man that was sketched. So please tell me again, when didn't white lives matter? How white lives don't matter when you have Trayvon Martin going to go get Skittles, and the police officer on the recorded 911 call said, do not engage, disengage. But because he felt like his whiteness superseded everything, that he was right, he had a right to approach this young man, then lied and proceeded to attack this boy, because that's what he was. Proceeded to attack the boy and kill him. and gets off. You have Kyle Rittenhouse, who is a white man, who went to a protest armed with the intent to do danger. And guess what? His white mother drove him there because they feel like their white authority supersedes everything else, that they matter, what they do matters. And because they are the law, they are always right. So my question is, when didn't white lives matter? We can even go down to delivery rooms when Black women are having babies, and we're in so much more pain than the white counterparts because we aren't believed in the fashion that we're supposed to be believed in. Oh, why? Because medical experiments were done on Black women. Okay? So when didn't white lives matter? DEI didn't benefit the Black woman. It benefited the white woman because it gave an excuse to put the white women at the front of the line, people that weren't even qualified in front of the line. White women benefited from that. But see, now that they've dismantled this so-called DEI, now they're able to hire the people that are actually qualified. And what are they doing? They're finding that their pool is shitty. So again, I'm looking at Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon, how are you this confused? You're supposed to educate yourself before you open up your mouth instead of making all them babies. Why don't you pick up some books and read and sit down with historians? You have the access. Sit down with historians and learn some real history and learn how the Democratic Party and Republican Party got flipped and who was on what side. Okay? And if you believe in that, but then don't look for us to save you when they disown you, because one thing we know about white men gonna white men anytime, any chance that they get, and they're gonna disown you when they no longer need you. Prime example, look at Gino and Dawn Staley. He thought, I waited for you for 3 minutes. Who the hell are you? So he felt like he had the audacity and the authority to check her. Little did he know, in the words of our great Dawn Staley, I'll beat your ass, Gino. I'll beat your ass. So again, when didn't white lives matter? You know, when you had Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark is a good player. But anytime Angel Reese would have the same response that Caitlin Clark was, Angel Reese is a problem. She's angry. She's this. But then when it came to Caitlin, oh, she's passionate. The same thing that we could say about when Tom Brady was there and Odell Beckham were playing, and Tom Brady would slam his helmet down on the thing. Oh, he's passionate. He's energized. He's just upset because he's so hard on himself. And when Odell Beckham would do the same thing. He's angry. He's this. When did white lives not matter? I'm just trying to figure this out. When didn't white lives matter? When we see the injustices that are done, and they will use that and believe a white cop over an innocent Black man or female any day of the week. Mm-hmm. So again, you can be MAGA all you want to, but when they throw you away because you're no longer of use for them, or when you decide you can no longer align yourself because something personally happens to you, don't look for a home within us, because we're okay. We see what you stand for. We see what you voted for. We see what you aligned yourself with, and we see how you turned a blind eye to the very people that have supported your career. It's okay. You can be over there, but don't expect us to support you. Don't expect us to fund your life. Don't expect us to show up for you when things get rough. Don't expect us to do this. You know what we're going to do? The same thing that they always do when our kids are getting murdered and slaughtered in schools. Thoughts and prayers. But don't come looking for a home in us, because we're not coming. We're not coming to save you. We're not throwing you a raft. We're not throwing you a life vest. Sink or swim. You better figure out how to swim with them sharks that you decided to align your very self with, that were there cheering on the very oppression of your fan base, the very oppression of what your mama looked like, the very oppression of the people that your daddy looked like, the very oppression of the people that when you were growing up, neighborhoods you lived in. Selling your soul is so expensive. It's so expensive on the end game. It really is on the flip side, because one thing we do know, it always blows up. It always blows up. So remember, guys, we're in this thing for the long haul. Buckle up, buttercups out there. For those that are just now getting in, you might want a red ball of giving you some good things, some things to think about. Remember, find people in your community. I'm even talking to friends. Hey, let's get together. Let's go to some farmers market. Let's pitch in. Let's see who can grow this, who can grow that, who can do this, who got a Costco car, who got a Sam's car. How can we put in together? Because it is going to take us to be able to survive with each other. And just a reminder, these are the gas prices. So remember, voting has consequences. So please make sure you are active. Make sure that you are active in your midterms, in your local elections, your state elections. Make sure you are active, because just as important as who it is that you send to Washington is just as important who is walking around in your local neighborhoods and are making decisions for your cities, your towns, your schools, your local schools. Get active. Get active. And it's okay to pull your child out of a predominantly white school and put them in a school where they will thrive with people that look like them, where they will have emotional security. Remember that, emotional security, where they can look up and that teacher reminds them of their mama, their auntie, their uncle, their cousin, somebody. We don't have to learn what they learn. We're far smarter. They're too busy banning books and ripping out pages of history. They're too busy not teaching how to sign your name. Your signature is everything. Get our head in the game. Let's go. Get activated. If you're into the church and you're on boards and things like that, start putting out those ideas. How can we help our community? Us. Just remember, voting has consequences. And here is one of those consequences right here: your pocket. That's it, folks. That's all I have for today. But thank you for attending Politics in Plain English. We talk current political events and explain what's happening, why it's happening, and what it actually means. I will see you here tomorrow between 10 and 10:30. Hopefully it's more, probably be around the 10:30 side. Look for me. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Make sure you share. When you share me out, share it out to somebody. Like, copy and paste the link and send it to a friend that may not understand, may not really watch mainstream media or understand the minutiae of politics. We break it down here so you can see it from a Black women's perspective, from a mother. Okay. Start getting news from people that look like you, that sound like you, and are aligned with you. Okay, who are going to tell the truth about things. But until next time.